Hey, I'm Rochelle. I'm the beauty and the comedic relief.
And I'm Bridget, the brains of the operation.
Come with us across Alberta where we show you some of the best people and places.
There might be some mess-ups and dumb jokes along the way, but we promise it'll be a lot of fun.
Hello everyone!
Hi guys!
We're back in the exact same outfits because it's the same day.
But the magic of TV, you'll see this at a different time, so you won't know.
I mean, you will now, but...
We should have just done an outfit change. Next time we'll do a costume change. We won't have time between this interview and the next one, but that's besides the point. Anyway, we're back at Grain Bin Brewery. So, some beer for us.
We're being very cautious. Bridget is the one that's driving, so I'm doing the interview, and if there's any tasting of alcohol, I volunteer as tribute.
Twisted our arm here, but yeah, so let's go check it out.
So we're just going to start with your name.
My name is Dalen Landis.
And tell us a bit about yourself.
I am Grande Prairie born and raised. I went to school for a little bit at GPRC back when it was GPRC. Now it's Northwest Polytechnic. I studied some business admin, and then I transferred into fine arts, so doing visual arts, painting, drawing, that sort of stuff. Moved a little bit, spent some time in Kelowna, and then decided to come back to Grande Prairie.
So, Kelowna, how was that?
It was great. It was warm, and it was nice to get out of the snow for a little bit.
For sure.
I mean, they have snow there, but nothing like the cold we have here.
100%. And so what kind of brought you there?
To finish my degree. So I wanted to finish my fine arts degree, and I did my final 2 years there, and my wife finished her degree there as well.
Oh, wow. And so we're in your Grain Bin Brewery. Can you tell us a bit about the history?
Sure. So Grain Bin Brewing Company, we first were incorporated in 2016. We've been located in Grande Prairie since then. We're actually in our third location, so we've grown a fair bit over the last few years, ran out of space, and needed to move. Now we are in, like I said, our third location, and we have a tap room, as well as we do all of our own beer production here at the facility as well. We do not only beer, but as of recently, we've gotten our spirits and our wine license as well. So we're able to offer some non-beer, but still alcoholic options.
Oh, that's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And what, you said a beer tap? Is that what you said?
Oh, yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, like a tap house.
Yeah.
So we do both like retail as well as service here. So people can come in and they can get flights. We do have like a limited food menu. You can get pints and hang out, and we'll do events and shows. Or we also do operate as a retail space too. So people can grab 6-packs or 4-packs or whatever they want.
That's really cool. And so where did the name Grain Bin Brewery come from?
So for us, we wanted something that was spoke to kind of the area that we are from. Everybody that's involved is from or around the Grande Prairie region. So we wanted something that kind of spoke to the prairies, but also didn't limit us to a single location. And so we wanted something, and with our logo too, that's something that we had thought about with the grain elevator, is we wanted something that kind of screamed like this is part of our history and the area, but even somebody in BC or Saskatchewan or Manitoba could see something like that and it'd still be very recognizable.
Yeah. And so when did you know that you kind of wanted to start your own company like this?
We had initially started out brewing a bunch of us friends together, and it was more of a hobby. After school, we had found that time for hobbies was a little bit limited. People were getting married and having kids, and it was hard to justify something like brewing, which is an all-day activity, to if you only have a couple of Saturdays, it's hard to justify spending them doing that.
Yeah.
So with us, we started brewing together just as a group of friends, and we were able to split up a lot of the responsibilities and the time. One thing led to another, and I guess the biggest thing that had changed was there was in Alberta some liquor laws that had a minimum production kind of legislation. So you had to produce a certain amount of alcohol in order to keep your license, which meant, you know, you had to make a lot, and you weren't able to do it on a small scale. Back in 2015, the end of 2015, when that law had changed, that is when we started looking into doing something small scale. If we could do something lower volume and still keep it fun without all of the stresses of operating a ginormous facility, then we took that leap and decided to do it back after they changed the laws.
And so what has been your biggest success since working or starting this company?
I think for us is we really value the community in town, and while we still do have people that stop in on a weekly basis and they're like, oh wow, I didn't know that there was like a brewery in Grande Prairie, we do find that we are starting to get to know our community quite well. So not only are we meeting new people, but we're seeing the same familiar faces come in over and over again. And I think that is one of our biggest successes, is just having a place that, you know, everybody feels welcome, but also they have a place that, you know, they can get to know other people that have similar interests in the community.
Yeah, for sure. And what has been the biggest challenge since opening? Or something that you kind of faced that you weren't expecting to?
Yeah, I mean, I think the same as with everybody, like COVID was a bit of a monkey wrench. Being a service provider, it was, definitely a difficulty trying to figure out how to operate and manage the expectations that were given to us during that time, especially with product like beer. It does have a shelf life, and so there is some issues with, like, well, we have to make sure that we can maintain our volume that is needed, but also ensure that fresh product is constantly going out. And so there was so many like what ifs in the last few years, and I feel like a lot of people are still recovering, especially in the service industry, with not only staff but just recovering from the losses that they had felt during that period.
Yeah, for sure. And this is just, maybe I'm just stupid and I didn't realize, how long can beer sit on the shelf? I didn't realize there was an expiration date for it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and it depends on the product. So some beers are best enjoyed fresh. So if you have a IPA, I really like fresh Hefeweizens, which is a German wheat beer. Those typically we try to suggest people drink them within, you know, like maybe 6 to 8 months of the package date. We do have a lot of other products though that actually we do cellar even once they're packaged, so in can or bottle, and we'll hold them back and we'll let them age and develop, kind of like how people would with wine. And a lot of our sour programs or stronger beers, we do actually find age and improve. All of our beer is not pasteurized, and it's unfiltered, so it is a living organism. And so, things change over time with living things. And so, we just, depending on the beer, it's typically best enjoyed fresh.
That's so cool. You learn something new every day. And so do you have any advice for anyone who's wanting to pursue a career in this?
It is good to get involved, seek out your favorite tap room or favorite brewery, get to know the people that are involved there, and then start with making those relationships with those people. And more often than not, they'll give you kind of a behind-the-scenes view of what actually happens. I think that with breweries and producing beer, the job is a little bit romanticized, and maybe people don't completely understand what is all involved. But it is a production job, it is a sales job, and it's a management job. It's regulated by the federal government, the provincial government, municipal governments. So there is also a lot of paperwork and stuff as well. But I think if you do have an interest, it's worth talking to, a brewery or a producer that you find appealing, and kind of get a behind-the-scenes look at what the different rules are available there.
Yeah, for sure. And so you kind of talked about this before, but how many different types of alcohol do you carry?
Yeah, so we're a smaller producer, and one of the benefits to that is that we can try new things and experiment, and we're not tied to producing a single core brand. So we do have a handful of core beers that we produce year round, but we do tons of seasonal beers and one-off beers that are either produced once or only once a year. And so since we've opened, I don't have an exact number, but we're going to be right around the 200 mark in terms of different beers that we've produced.
Wow. And so how many, you said you had a handful. Do you know the exact number of how many you carry at once?
Yeah, so we have, and again, it's depending, if we're talking beer, we would have about 6 core beers that we produce and that we maintain. We also do have some non-alcoholic options, like I had mentioned.
Okay, yeah.
Or sorry, not non-alcoholic, but non-beer alcoholic options.
Yeah.
So we do a vodka-based seltzer. We do gin smashes. We just recently started dabbling in ciders. So we've got a few other options that we try to produce year-round.
And so I know nothing about beer or anything like that. What's the difference between a cider and a beer? Are they completely different, or?
So it depends. Alcohol is made by yeast eating sugar. So yeast consumes sugar and it turns it into alcohol. And so when we're making beer, we get the sugar from grain. So we take primarily barley, but often oats or wheat, rye, and when we produce it in our brew house, we produce starches and sugars from those grains. And so that is the sugar content that the yeast eats to turn into alcohol for beer. For cider, the sugars come from the fruit. And so typically a cider would typically be a apple cider, so it'd be essentially apple juice, and then all the fructose, the natural sugar in the juice, is what the yeast eats and turns that into alcohol.
Okay, thank you so much for that.
Yeah, of course.
Nice little lesson. And can you speak about the different types of beer and different notes? And for individuals who maybe aren't avid beer drinkers, is there something that doesn't really taste like a normal, just go to the liquor store, try something like that?
Yeah, I think primarily when people think of beer, they think of a lot of the macro beers, which are adjunct lagers typically.
Okay.
So it would be a lot of the beers that you see are going to be primarily made with barley, but often use things like corn sugar or rice sugar to help increase the alcohol content.
Okay.
They're typically anywhere 4 to 5%, and they're often lagers. So clean and crisp, and we call them fizzy yellows. It's when people say beer, it's typically what people think of.
Yeah.
So there's primarily 3 different types of kind of families of beer. So there's ales, lagers, and then wilds beers. And so kind of the difference between all 3 of them is the type of yeast or organism that makes that alcohol. So ales would use a top fermenting yeast, so the yeast consumes the sugar and it lives on top of the beer. Lagers are bottom fermenting, so the yeast still does the same thing, consumes sugars, but it hangs out at the bottom. And then wild beers are often beer yeasts or bacteria also that do the same thing. So they'll produce alcohol from the sugars, but they don't fit into that same two categories of types of yeast. And so wild beers are typically either funky or sour beers.
Okay, and so each kind of way it ferments or gives it like a different flavor and like a different taste?
Yeah, so ales typically give a little bit more ester. They're fermented at a warmer temperature, generally speaking. And lagers, again, generally speaking, are fermented at a cooler temperature. Fermentation is an exothermic process, and so it creates heat. The hotter it is, the faster the process happens. The cooler it is, the cleaner the product typically finishes. Okay. And so lagers are like crisp and clean, and primarily just because you ferment them at a lower temperature, and the process just takes a little bit longer.
And do you have a favorite?
A favorite beer?
Yeah, like a favorite way to ferment, or like one that you kind of go to, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I mean, I like experimenting with new yeasts. Generally, maybe because I'm impatient, I do like working with ale yeast just because it's a little bit of a quicker turnover. Yeah. There's some Kveik yeasts are like a new Norwegian strain, and they're typically quite quick, and you can get a lot of variety in flavors with those. But personally, like if time and money wasn't a thing, I really enjoy wild ferments, just because you don't necessarily always know how things are going to turn out. Yeah. And you got to wait a couple years to see if it's how the product turned out.
And so how long does it usually take? I know you said a year for like wild, but for the other two?
So with some of the newer strains, you can produce some products as quick as, I mean, some people are even turning stuff over in 7 days or 10 days. Generally speaking, they would say 2 to 3 weeks for an ale, and then 6 to 8 weeks for a lager, and then wild beers are, it's a year. Whatever. Yeah, it could be. Well, you could do something pretty quick. Yeah. But we do have some products, even aging in some of our barrels and stuff like that have been 5 years plus.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And so, kind of coming back to beer, if someone wanted to get into craft beer, like me, I don't think I've ever sipped craft beer. What would you recommend?
I think it would depend on what your expectations are. So there are so many different like flavor varieties and styles that you can get, that as long as you're prepared, anything can work. But if you're used to, say, drinking macro lagers, a Helles, which would be like a German style lager, would be a good one to start with, because it's going to be familiar, it's going to be clean and crisp, it's going to be like a very transparent kind of gold straw color. So it's going to look, smell, and taste like a beer you would expect. But again, like if you wanted to try some experiments, if you're like, oh man, I really love dessert. I mean, we also did produce like a peanut butter chocolate chip cookie stout. So I mean, it pours black with like a really dark tan head, but it is sweet and peanut buttery, and it's like dessert in a can. And that could also be like a fun introduction, but again, it's when people think of beer, that's not typically what they imagine.
Yeah, 100%. I didn't know that was a thing. And so what are some of your best sellers?
For volume, our biggest sellers are either our Red Willow Amber Ale or a Pipestone Pale Ale. We do a lot of draft for those ones, so bars and restaurants will pick it up and have it available for draft service in local restaurants here. Those are probably our more popular ones because they're recognizable styles. Amber ales and pale ales are popular styles, so they're not too crazy of flavor profiles, but still something that we do, and we do well, and people keep coming back to.
And so, do you know how many restaurants you kind of ship off to?
So right now we primarily deal just with local bars and restaurants.
Okay.
We've got about 22 that we work with here in town, as well as about the same, a little bit more in liquor stores that carry packaged product.
And is it only in Grande Prairie right now?
Primarily, yeah. We occasionally have stuff on, it's called Liquor Connect, which is a Central Alberta warehouse. And so liquor stores are able to order directly from Liquor Connect, and it would carry, producers from all over the world, their product.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
And so kind of going back to favorites, do you have a favorite beer that you offer or liquor?
I like lagers. We did an all Alberta malt and hops Pilsner that was really good. So it used both grain from Alberta as well as hops that were grown in Alberta.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so we called it the Old Switcheroo. So that series was like a few different Pilsners that we had done, and we just changed some of the ingredients or the process with them, just to see some of the differences that happened with either ingredient or process changes. So that one was one that I really enjoyed. We also do a beer called Crybaby, which is a rye lager. So it is, again, like crisp and clean, but that rye gives it a bit of spice and fruit. So it's just like a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
So it's still very easy to drink, but there's a little bit more to it than you expect.
And so do you have a favorite beer from another company? Or another like brewery?
Yeah. So I enjoy trying new stuff, and I don't know if I would have, say, a favorite beer that another producer is making, but right now there's something like 150 breweries in Alberta, and each one of them is, constantly making new products, and I think that's one of the real fun things is to see what, some of our friends are doing throughout the province. And if I would say that Alberta beer is probably my favorite, just because not only do I know a lot of the story behind the product, but I think that there is a lot of creativity that's happening in the province.
For sure. And I think you can kind of see in the video your cans behind you. Who designed your cans, and how did you come up with like the fun beer names?
It's actually a little bit of a team process, and so some of the beers we design the labels in-house, and then we do have other people that design some of the labels as well. So we have right now, we have one of our Red Willow cans. We have actually a different label on it because it was designed for Canada Day by the city.
That's so cool.
We have like our Freshly Squeezed was designed by a friend, also named Dalen, who does it for Freshly Squeezed Entertainment, which is a production company. But yeah, we kind of do a mix. Like if people come in and we're working on collaborative projects, we'll both throw ideas back about like what the labels can be and look like, and what do you want to name them. And then like a lot of our cores are ones that we'll typically design in-house.
Okay. And so the names, like Okay Already, all that stuff, how did you come up with that? Because those are pretty funny and clever.
Yeah, so that is another series that we did. So it's a New England IPA series. So we actually started with All Right Already. And the reason why we called it All Right Already is because we are constantly being asked to make a New England IPA. So New England IPAs are typically less bitter. They're usually not bitter at all. They're hazy. They're really, really fruity and tropical, and got like a really sweet, heavy mouthfeel. And the last few years, they've definitely been like one of the most popular beer styles being released. And we think there's a lot of people doing a lot of really good renditions of those. And so we were focusing on other styles, and people just kept asking, when are you going to do a NEPA or a New England IPA?
Yeah.
And finally, we're just like, all right already, we'll make one. So we called it All Right Already. And that led us to doing some other experiments and just keeping the same beer recipe, but then just adjusting the alcohol content. So we did the OK Already, which is a 4% beer compared to the 5.5 in the All Right Already.
Yeah.
And then we had another Already, which is 7.2%, and then Enough Already, which was a 10% New England IPA.
That's so fun. You gave the fans what they wanted.
Yeah.
And so we noticed on your website you do custom branded beer. Can you speak a bit about that?
Yeah, so we do a fair bit of either like private labels or custom cans, and so it can be for like weddings or private events. Like I'd mentioned, we did do a new label rebrand for our Red Willow for Canada Day, but we do have people that are doing like weddings or stags or even just like another community event, and are looking to either bring something fun or to raise a lot of excitement, like, you know, if we release it prior to the event as well, just to let people know about, you know, what's happening. So because we are so small, that does give us a lot of flexibility to do those smaller runs and to do label change-ups like that.
Yeah, and so if someone wanted to get it, say for like a wedding or a private event, how long in advance do you need that?
The more the better.
Yeah.
But depending on like if they wanted us to do the label design, because we do a lot of that in-house, you know, 2 to 3 weeks to get labels designed, okayed, and then printed is typically okay.
Yeah.
And then we would just need to make sure that on the production side, like the beer or product that they want, that it is going to be something that we package within those 2 or 3 weeks.
Oh, okay.
So if they're not super picky, we can give them, of course, whatever we're going to be packaging and just adjust the label to fit that.
Yeah. And so if you could create any custom beer, like any flavors that you wanted or one that you're thinking about doing, what would it be?
I mean, we kind of do whatever we want. So we do have a lot of the cores that we are producing that we try to keep consistent and you know, satisfy people that are looking for, you know, the familiar same beers that they want. But yeah, we do a lot of beers. We have even one of my favorites is called our Democracy series, where we essentially make an online poll, and then anybody can vote in the poll, and that determines what we make next. And I think that one's a really fun one because we get almost instant kind of response from the public, what they're looking for in beer, as well as when it is released, they get a sense of ownership, like, oh man, this was one of the beers that I picked, and I had a say in this, you know, becoming a reality.
And if you could take Grain Bin, my goodness, cut that out. If you could take Grain Bin Brewing Company anywhere in the world, where would you want to take it and why?
I think I'd maybe would want to open up a couple more satellite locations in Alberta even. So maybe some of the centers like Calgary or Edmonton, and then maybe some smaller towns too that maybe don't have a local brewery at the moment. Like I mentioned, we have so many interesting and fun things happening in the province. I think with Grande Prairie being a little bit further removed from a lot of the other locations, we do miss a bit of that camaraderie that everybody does have. The brewing community is quite close-knit, and I think it would be fun to to produce, you know, Grain Bin beers in smaller scales, like throughout the province, so that we would not only have a chance to be closer to some of our friends that are producing, but also you know, give some communities that don't have access to beer at the moment, you know, a taste of ours. Yeah,
for sure. And this is kind of going back to the beginning of the interview. What was the idea behind having not only like the brewery, but also having a place where people could come and sit and buy beer and play games? Like, I've never seen something like this before.
Yeah, I think having spaces that are like accessible and open to everybody are huge in how a community develops. I think that the more places that are open to different events happening and stuff like that, where it's not maybe say just like a restaurant, but not only do they have some food service and some drink service, but they're flexible with like how they handle their entertainment or different activities. The more fun and exciting things that happen in a city, the more vibrant that city is going to become. And it's people typically don't move somewhere strictly just for work. They also take a lot of thought into, well, what's the social life like, or what are some of the things that they can do when they're not at work, because I mean, nobody wants to just work their entire life.
Yeah.
And so I think building a place that has that flexibility to give people, a venue that's essentially theirs, that they can, play games if they want, or we can do an open mic, people can have a show and or do performances. And I think that is stuff that makes strong communities.
100%. I walked in here and I told Bridget that we needed to come back because this is so cool. And is there something you wish people knew about Grain Bin Brewing Company?
I think that I wish people would know that we are, that we're open to new ideas. Just because we do things a certain way doesn't mean that we know the best way to do it. And we often have a lot of people coming in and bringing some unique ideas about, well, you should do this or have this event or whatever. And a lot of those things, we get so much tunnel vision that we don't even consider some of those things. And so we would like Grain Bin to be a place that people feel comfortable bringing new ideas and be like, this is what I want, and we want to do what people want. And so just making sure that people are aware that we love to change what we're doing to fit what people are looking for.
Yeah. And if you could have any celebrity come in here and try your beer, who would it be?
Any celebrity?
Yeah.
Wow. Boy. I'm a pretty big David Bowie fan. I know he's not with us anymore.
Yeah.
But I think I would have loved to meet him, and just with his fluidity and his characters and how he represented himself, I think that he would see kind of a correlation with our products and how they can be so vastly different.
100%.
And not everybody's gonna see, like maybe Ziggy Stardust as their favorite Bowie persona, but not everybody's gonna see Red Willow or Pipestone Pale Ale as their favorite beer too. And just being I think he would be somebody that would be neat to kind of see the connections between his art and ours.
Yeah, 100%. And so what do you do outside on your day-to-day?
When I'm not at
job?
work?
Yeah.
So we have 3 kids. 2 of them are school-aged and one's getting there. And so a lot of it is, it's primarily just family time stuff. So we enjoy the outdoors and camping and that sort of stuff. But kids do lots of events. And so it's playing, taxi to different things and and cheering them on, whether they're doing like soccer or skating or whatever school events that they've got going on.
And what is your favorite thing about living in Grande Prairie?
I think probably the sense of community, and and it's interesting because I think that is accessible anywhere. You just have to make a point of searching for it, and you can have great friends or great neighbors, and that can be anywhere. But I think if you're looking in the right places and if you're intentional about seeking that out, that Grande Prairie can definitely provide that sort of stuff, and that's something that us as business owners, or my family and I have really gone to appreciate is, it's close to the mountains. We got like big sky and lots of fun viewing for stars. We get hot weather, we get cold weather.
Yeah.
We kind of have like a little bit of everything, but it's definitely the people, I think, that make up a place.
I think you're 100% right. Like coming from Edmonton, it's completely different, which I didn't think it would be. But like even the vibe here, like you kind of walk in and you feel that everyone's just kind of welcoming. Everyone that we've talked to already have just been so nice. And it's like in Edmonton, it's kind of, you need to be on edge a bit more because not everyone's always like that.
Well, and Grande Prairie is somewhat of a transitional place too. Like a lot of people do come here for work and they're here temporarily. And I think that is something that a lot of people have adapted to, and now they become a little bit more welcoming or more friendly because they understand what it's like to, well, I've only been here for 6 months, or I moved in here last week, and they understand that it's tough to meet people and make friends, and because they have that shared experience. I think Grande Prairie has a little bit of a different attitude about either newcomers or outsiders, or however you want to define them.
Yeah, 100%. And then my last question I have for you is, what is the best piece of advice you received throughout your life?
The best piece of my advice that I received is probably to be intentional. So everybody makes decisions, and you should know why you're making that decision. And so I think if you have a reason as to why you do anything, whether it's something small or something big, I think that helps guide and direct the decisions that you do make. So I don't think that there's inherently like right or wrong decisions, how people can do certain things, but if they put thought and intention behind why, I think that also helps them become a little bit more successful because they understand why they've got the passion behind what they're doing.
100%. That was great. Thank you so much for sitting down with us.
Yeah, of course.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome back again.
This is our last interview for today.
So our outfits will change. Just bear with us.
Maybe not. It might be cold. It's just the trip. Who knows?
You never know. Anyway, we are going to 1414 Food Company. So we're pretty excited.
Pretty pumped. It's right behind us. Probably
You can't see it.
but that's fine. It's going to be a good interview. All of them today have been, all of the interviews we've done
Have been
for this
awesome.
whole experience have been great. But today's been really good. We showed up way earlier than expected to the brewery bin, right? Yeah.
Grain Bin, yeah.
Grain
That
Bin
was my
Brewery, yeah.
mistake, but it's fine. I feel really bad about
He
it.
was super sweet and didn't say anything until like the end of the interview, and he still didn't. We're just like, I'm so sorry. Like, we're so early.
I
But-
feel pretty bad.
Yeah, so
But yeah, we're not super early for 1414 Food Company.
yes, we're on time.
We are on time, so let's go check it out.
Yeah, my name is Fiznik Velio.
And can you tell us a bit about yourself?
I'm 34 years old, married with 2 kids. I was originally born in Kosovo in Europe, and I moved here in 1999.
Oh, wow.
Yes, yeah.
And so what brought you here?
So actually I came here as a refugee. So there was a war back in Kosovo, and we had the opportunity to come to Canada. So
And how do you like Canada and Grande Prairie
I
specifically?
love it. I love it. Yeah.
Awesome. And so can you tell us a bit about 1414?
Yeah, so 1414 was created in 2019 by a different fella, and he kind of wanted to bring a different food group style in Grande Prairie that you couldn't find here, right? So all of our sandwiches are very unique. You know, it's not a sandwich that you can find if you go to the next restaurant. So, yeah.
And so, speaking a bit about your sandwiches, do you have a favorite one?
I do. So my favorite is actually the ribeye Philly, and then our 14 burger is, they're kind of 50-50. So.
And so, what's special about your burger and this sandwich?
So the ribeye, all of our sauces are made in house. So it's got a Cajun mayo, and the Cajun mayo is definitely one of my favorite sauces. For the 14 burger, we use 3 cuts of beef on it. And also Ozzy has his special smoky sauce that he puts in it. So there's no ketchup, no mayo, no mustard, just our smoky sauce. So it's very unique and very tasty.
Wow. And so how is it owning a company in Grande Prairie?
So I own a few different companies, and this one, honestly, because I do it with Ozzy as well, it's definitely one of the funner ones, and I enjoy it a lot more than my other ones currently. So, yeah.
And so what inspired you to take ownership of this company in particular?
So originally, Ozzy was working for me at one of my other companies. And I knew he was a chef, and that was his passion, right? So he was a chef in Dubai for 10 years. And so when he was working for me, you know, we had the opportunity to buy this restaurant. So we said, you know, he's a great cook, and, you know, I can do all the other stuff. And then we essentially bought it. So,
wow. Yeah. And can you speak a bit about the other companies that you own?
Yeah, so I have a delivery service in town, Turbo Delivery. That'll be 20 years at the end of this year in November. And then we also have a food delivery app. So, yeah.
Wow, so that keeps you probably really busy.
Very, very busy, yeah. We have a lot of drivers we deal with, and it's a lot of staff to deal with, so, yeah.
For sure. What would you say is the biggest challenge you've experienced?
So the biggest challenge we've experienced, I would say, is staffing for my other businesses. Right, for here, honestly, we haven't had too many challenges here. You know, our thing is we want to be unique. We want to give people something that they can't find in Grande Prairie. Right, so. We just, you know, we'll always create new menu items, new sandwiches. We bring out new dishes, you know, that you can't find in Grande Prairie. So, you know, sometimes just getting those dishes out, right, and finding the right stuff to bring out. So,
absolutely, got to keep it unique. What would you say has been the most rewarding part of working?
So the most rewarding part for me personally is, you know, just running into all the people and seeing, you know, how happy they are with the food, right? When they look at the menu, a lot of times they have no idea what they're getting, right? And when you take it out to them, they're like, "Oh my God, what is this?" You know. And then I just love how every time people give us feedback, right? And, you know, on how great it was and stuff like that. So that's definitely the most rewarding part for me.
Do you have any advice for anyone who's wanting to get into maybe the restaurant industry or like open a business?
Definitely just go for it. You know, it's a lot of people are scared to fail. That's one thing I haven't been scared of, you know, and I've failed many times at many different things, right? Yeah. You know, I'd say just go for it. If you fail, you fail, right? Move on to the next thing. So, and that's been my thing. I just go for it. So.
I think that's really great advice, and I know it's hard, like for myself included, like failure is seen as such a bad thing, but really it's just kind of like a stepping stone to get where you're supposed to go.
It's a learning curve, right? You know, and I feel like you have to fail at numerous things to eventually succeed, right? You know, and I've been very blessed to have my family and great business partners that, you know, even when I fail, you know, there's always another opportunity. So.
Absolutely. And like learning how to fail and pick yourself back up.
Oh, like 100%, yeah.
So important.
Yeah, it is. Nothing like failing. It's the biggest motivation. So, yeah.
Exactly. And so you spoke about it a bit being like unique sandwiches, but can you speak a bit more about your menu and what people can expect when they come in?
Yeah, so about 90% of our sandwiches are made on our ciabatta bun. They're hot press sandwiches, and then we're slowly bringing out some other items. So we have our famous breakfast garbage plate, which is sounds amazing. It's got tater tots, mac and cheese. There's you know, eggs. There's farmer sausage, bacon, green onion, shredded cheese, and then layered with our special sauce.
Oh my gosh!
The large is about 3 or 4 pounds. So.
Wow.
It's a massive asset. Yeah.
Sounds so good. And what would you say is the most popular item on your menu?
The most popular item right now is our surf and turf, which has steak, shrimp on a large bed of fries with our homemade ranch and peppercorn sauce to top it off. So it is very, very tasty, and hopefully we get to make it for you. So
yeah, that would be awesome. And is there something that you recommend to new customers, maybe when they come in and aren't sure what to get?
Yeah, so I mean, I always recommend what I personally like, but there's something that is very, very popular here as well is our spicy southern chicken mac sandwich, which has mac and cheese on the sandwich, and everybody loves it. So,
oh yeah, how can you not? Mac and cheese kind of sandwich? Like
exactly. And then we also have our dill fries. Normally about 80% of the people, as soon as you tell them dill fries, they'll go with dill fries. So, yeah.
Have a lot of options.
We sure do. Yeah, we sure do. And all of our sauces are made in-house, right? So our dill sauce is made in-house, and it is amazing. So.
Yeah. Everything's better when it's like homemade because it's fresh and made from the heart.
Yeah, exactly, right? But I find that's also what separates us apart from everybody else is just the fact that all of our sauces are made in-house, you know. Everybody can go buy the same ranch, you know, from suppliers and stuff like that. Here you're getting, you know, different sauces. Everything is just more personal and, you know, it's, I really like it personally, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what are your hours of operation?
So we're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. And then normally sometimes we'll stay later on the food delivery apps like Chow Local or Skip. So, yeah.
And so if you could open a restaurant anywhere in the world, where would you open it and why?
Well, so I personally would probably open up in Dubai, you know, as Aussie's originally from Dubai, or not originally from Dubai, but he lived there for 10 years in Dubai. You know, Dubai seems like a very, very good place to go and live at. So
yeah,
that's where I would for sure. Yeah.
I mean, I've never been, but I would love to. So.
I mean, I see it on videos and it looks amazing. So yeah.
And if you could let people watching know one thing about 1414, what would it be?
So 1414, we're all about our community. We do a lot of community stuff, and you know, we're very involved with the community. We're blessed to, you know, be two foreigners that have come to a country that all the opportunities are available for us, right? So we want to give back to the community. Or, you know, that's been our biggest thing since we took over, is we do a lot of community, you know, community support. So, yeah.
And I know we had spoken about it previously over the phone, but can you maybe go into that? Like, I know you mentioned the Feed It Forward, and
yeah. So originally we had started with Everybody Eats Grande Prairie, and it's between 3 restaurants in town that were rotating on feeding the homeless shelter. And that was about 100 people, and it's every Sunday. So each restaurant would kind of take turns in that. Lately, we've been doing more in-house stuff, right? So we have our meals from the Heart Wall. Essentially, anybody can come in, buy a meal for someone that's in need. Whoever's in need would just come, grab a receipt, puts it on the table, and we make them a meal. There's no questions asked. You don't have to be homeless. You don't have to be, you know, a certain demographic or anything like that. There's no questions asked. So and then every year we also have our water cooler. We put a water cooler when it's super warm out, and people just come grab a bottle of water and go about their day. So
I think that's really kind to kind of recognize the need in the community, and not only recognize it, but also do something about it, and like add to the change and kind of pay forward with kindness.
100%. Especially, you know, like water is, I feel like everybody should have that, you know, like it's, you know, even to charge for water, sometimes I feel like that's like kind of world are we living in, you know, where like people can't get water, right? So
absolutely. Yeah, and unfortunately in today's day and age, like
I mean that's exactly how it is, right? But it's nice. We have a lot of people that walk downtown, right? And we have a lot of the homeless people that walk downtown, right? So now, you know, they know that we have our water cooler out. They'll come grab it. Sometimes even if we don't have the water cooler out, they come in, just grab a water over there, and then they go about their day. So, yeah.
And I'm sure the community here really appreciates that as well.
No, definitely. And I mean, the community has supported us, you know, ever since we bought it, right? You know, and it's just something that we can give back to the community. So.
Speaking of the community, what are some of the things you like to do outside of maybe?
Definitely, I think the biggest thing that I love about this community is that when there's a need for someone, everybody kind of steps up, right? And I've always really enjoyed that. So, you know, anytime there's a need from somebody in the community, whether they need to do a fundraiser or, you know, anything like that, I'm always willing to help, right? And that's been our motto since the beginning, and I think that's why, you know, I really liked Ozzy from the beginning, is because whenever I said, hey man, you know, like this person needs something, he always says go for it. So, yeah.
That's really heartwarming to hear, especially like from a business owner, because I think sometimes the business world is very like cut and dry of like, I'm here to make money, but based on what I've seen here and just even speaking to you, it sounds a lot deeper than that, and that you're coming from a genuine place.
Yeah, well, beautiful. And I mean, the thing with us is, you know, so he's from a different country, I'm from a different country. In our world, you know, things like this, it's, you know, when you're given something, you always have to give back, right? And that's been our thing, is to give back as much as we can. I found, you know, the more I give, the more I get in return, right? And I've been very blessed in Grande Prairie to, you know, like have as many opportunities as we have had, right? You know, and now it's more about just enjoying what I'm doing, right? And that's giving back. So.
Yeah, and I think if everyone had that mentality, the world would be so much nicer of a place.
I agree personally, because I really don't like the mentality of like, you know, me against you, right? You know, and there's lots of restaurants in Grande Prairie that do amazing things, right? And I always want to see how we can, you know, do it together, instead of, you know, I'm doing it to spite you or something like that, right? You know,
absolutely.
And there's quite a few restaurants that I talk with the owners, you know, and we always try to think of things to do collectively to help out the community. So.
And that's so kind and so sweet. My last question here is, what is the best piece of advice you've received throughout your life?
So the best piece of advice I would say is from my parents, right, is just to keep doing the next right thing, right? You know, even if it doesn't benefit you or anything like that, or if you think it doesn't benefit you, just keep doing the right thing and everything falls into place, right? So as long as you do what's right, you know, and if it comes from your heart, then you can't go wrong. So
that's so sweet.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We're gonna do now our famous dish, surf and turf. We're gonna put this beautiful steak in the grill. Give it some love with season.
So how long have you been a chef?
Oh, good question. 18 years.
18 years?
Yes.
And
I work in different cuisine in Dubai, Kuwait, Jordan. I work for Canadian and US Army for 7 years as well, in different countries, Afghanistan, Iraq. Yeah, I've been in different places.
What inspired you to start cooking?
My dad. My dad, yeah. I have bachelor degree in hotel management from Jordan, yeah. But I specialized in the kitchen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've done a whole bunch of things then.
Oh yeah. I love cooking.
Cooking's your favorite?
Yeah, and soon Fiznik, he will gonna be addicted in cooking as well, yeah. Because it sounds like he like it, you know, and he enjoy. Whenever I show him any dish, anything, he enjoy it and he do it very well, yeah. Yeah.
What's your favorite dish to cook?
In 14?
Any.
It's a good question. It's a good question. have one dish. It's named chicken katsukari. It's a Japanese, and I would love to present this dish here in GB, and hopefully one day me and him will gonna do it. Yeah, it's so delicious, so unique dish, and just I'm loving this dish. You know, it's so good. Yeah. Roast seasoning, when you saute with the butter, it's give unique flavor. We're gonna cut this beautiful. It's beautiful done, let's say.
Smells so good.
Wait until you try it. Tasty. And you know what the funny part? I'm allergic from seafood.
He was saying it.
Yeah. So I don't know how is the taste, to be honest.
I can confirm it's very good. I was the first one to try it, and I tell you, it's definitely one of my favorites. Between the ribeye filling and this, you know, it is a heavier meal, right? But if I could have this every day, for sure.
Was this dish created by like you
Yes.
two, or yeah?
Yes, yeah.
What was it inspired by? Like, what was,
honestly, we watch a few different things on like Facebook and stuff like that, just different ideas, and we somebody had actually tagged us in a post that looked similar to this, and then we wanted to make our own version of it. So
This is our peppercorn gravy.
Hello, everyone. We're done for today.
Finished up for today, so new outfits coming tomorrow. Just finished up at 1414 Food Co. The ranch, listen.
Delicious. We will
I'm
be
a
back.
big ranch girly, and that ranch, it's made in house and it slaps. And I wish I had the recipe, or we had one in Edmonton, because
It's so good.
I'm sad to leave the ranch personally.
No, truthfully, we need to like see if we can buy a bottle.
We should. Oh, we can't take that on a plane. Can you take ranch on a plane?
Okay, I'm dying. I think you can put it if you put it in your suitcase.
Might just.
But
have
I
to
could
do
be
that.
wrong because I might not be able to like properly close it. But it was really good. I will say, I literally like this whole day, I've been wanting to cry, and it's because the stories that these people tell, and they're so sweet, and they just are so willing to give back, and it's like so like because everyone we talk to like is willing to give back. Like, don't get me wrong, like in Edmonton too, like everyone's super sweet, but like they put like water out for the homeless, and like they have a wall, like you'll hear about this all, but they have a wall that they people can come in and buy food for someone in need, and they don't ask questions about it. They're like, you need that food, you take a receipt, that's yours. I'm not gonna ask you where you're from, I'm not asking you what your career is, I don't care, that's your food. Like it brought tears to my eyes, because I'm like, there's still humanity left, and it's like, wow. Like, and then the food's delicious too. Like, I just recently became a shrimp girly, and the shrimp's delicious. I've always loved steak. Who doesn't love steak? Steak is delicious, perfectly cooked to my liking. So like medium rare, medium well. Fries too.
So good.
So good.
So good. Everything's delicious, and similar to what Rochelle was saying, very heartwarming day we've had. Everyone is very open and like vulnerable and willing to talk to us. Some on camera, some off camera, like the stories we heard that some of them you didn't get to hear. Sorry. I guess you have to go to these places yourselves and ask for stories. But some of them you did hear. But it's a very touching, tight-bound community that I'm getting the vibe of, which I think is really cute and the world needs more of.
Even like Grant, like who we went to today, Grant for Gallery. Watch that.
If that wasn't in this episode, because depending on how I edit, it might be different. So watch that episode.
He was talking about how they all come together as a community, and he's like, it's so rare, and like now other communities are trying to do that. But he's like, we've always done that, and like that was our first interview, first time being in Grande Prairie. Like, so we're like, oh, like that's cool, but it's now like our last interview of the day, and it is now showing more than ever how much they love to be a GP resident.
Grande Prairien? Grande Prairien?
Grande Prairie?
We're Edmontonian, so Grande Prairien? Question mark? I'll Google it. I'll know for tomorrow.
We'll ask someone.
We'll ask someone. But yeah, all in all, amazing day. Yeah. Super excited for tomorrow. Thanks, everyone.
Hey everyone, welcome back. So we went to 1414 Food Company. Yes. We tried their surf and turf, and now we got a couple other things. So we're gonna try the things that we got. What did you get, Rochelle? Oh, me. I got the smoke. No, I didn't. The 1414 burger. It looks
That's huge.
So good. It's a big burger. So
it's a big onion ring.
A burger, onion ring, tomato, lettuce, cheese, and smokehouse sauce.
They're like special ingredient sauce. Watch out, you're like dripping.
Oh my god, I'm so
You're
sorry.
fine. You're fine. We literally don't sleep on here. I'm just saying, like,
I'm so sorry.
Fries.
I don't know if this is gonna fit all in my mouth. This is kind of embarrassing. Rochelle, talk while I try this burger. While I put it in my mouth.
I'm not even covering your mouth. I
don't think I can do this. I need to cut this.
Mine's a little, like, a pressed sandwich. I got a crispy chicken bacon ranch, and I added jalapenos. And I literally got it for the sole purpose of their ranch, because we had their ranch on the surf and turf. And it is literally delicious. We both got a side of it. It's homemade ranch. Oh, actually so good.
It's delicious, honestly. The best ranch I think I've ever had in my life, actually.
Yeah.
I think we talked about that yesterday, but I'm a big ranch girly. And the literal best ranch.
Well, so we ate a bit yesterday, like of the surf and turf, and then we brought it home, and we're literally eating it like when it was cold, because it didn't fit in our mini fridge, so we like needed to eat it, and it was actually so good. Like, I was like upset when all the fries are gone. I'm like, okay, like.
It was very, very yummy. Okay, now I think I'm able to try this burger. Oh my gosh, I'm such a mess. This is delicious though.
Mine too. And it's tomatoes, spinach. Did I already say what it has in it?
I honestly was so concentrated on cutting this burger. I have no idea. This is delicious though. 10 out of 10, recommended.
This is really good.
Cool. Bye everyone.
Thanks for watching. Hello everyone, we're back.
Same outfit, same day.
That's a little inside jokey joke. You won't get that. That's fine.
We are here at Major's Restaurant. Also Tractor Jack's. So we're gonna go in, do a little interview, do a little something. And then we're gonna check out another one of their locations, because they just opened another location. So we'll provide you all the information when we have it. But yeah, let's start there. Let's go check it out.
My name is Roberto Major, Robert.
And tell us a bit about yourself.
I'm a family man, 6 children, happy husband. Wife's not as happy as me, apparently, but I like to stay active and just basically got into the restaurant industry and still here.
So did you come from a big family?
Yes, I have a family of 4 others, siblings. So we all have lots of grandkids. So already 3 grandkids of my own already.
Oh, wow.
So there's about, I think my parents have 18 or 19 out for all of us. So it's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm from a big family. I have 4 other siblings. So we're the same way. And what made you want to open a restaurant?
Well, that's a big question, I guess. Open a restaurant, that's more of Papa's section there.
Yeah.
To get him interviewed here because, back in the day, he's, in 19, he got involved with it in the boom, right in the bust there in 1980. So it was a pretty intense time to get into the restaurant industry back then. But I just followed in his footsteps, kind of started running the business just after high school hockey and kind of got into it and just said, hey, actually what happened was there was an offer on our business for $1 million back then, and I told my dad, it's like, you really going to sell this? Like, don't sell that. That's what I want to get into. And he didn't really even know that. So, when I was that young age and stuff, and then so he kept it because of that. And so then we just, entrepreneured through there and kind of kept on going because that's what you got to do.
And so how long has Major's been open?
43 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 1979 was founded. And my dad built the hotel. He was an engineer, so he built the hotel first of all. And then basically decided to get into when you have a hotel and you don't have the food side with it. So then in 1983 the restaurant was formed in the hotel.
And so are you a Grande Prairie local, or did you guys move here?
No, Grande Prairie local.
Born and raised, wow.
Yeah.
And how was it opening, or I guess running a restaurant in Grande Prairie? Of course it has its challenges, this COVID thing, and, with the last 3 years have really affected things. Yeah.
But we've been established, and having a blessed staff, it's all about the staff really, and our customers. Our customer base is huge.
Yeah.
So really, they've really been a huge support for local for this long. So it's been pretty phenomenal, going through that, and stuff. But yeah, tough times, as well. But we're pretty fortunate. So
yeah, for sure. And what were some of the challenges that you did face?
Oh, well, the challenge is actually starting this location, because the last name is Major. We have this is our 3rd location basically, but Major's on the other side of town. I've ran it from 1990 basically until 2007 and 2008. And it was, the challenges were basically coming into this location. I thought that it would be like, okay, slap our name on the wall, and it would, because this location here, it took me quite a while to get the deal dealt with the hotel to make it work.
Oh, yeah.
And once we settled and everything, I thought, okay, it's going to work out fine. And it was 3 years of grinding without a paycheck.
Wow.
For my wife and I, probably 7,000 or 8,000 hours of work with no money. So it wasn't that easy. So that's what it takes in the restaurant industry. So yeah. It's not easy, but it's finally cash flowing and working, and but it's taking its time.
Yeah. And what would you say the most rewarding part of your job is?
Oh, I'm a foodie, so I love the industry. So I love making. Well, we make everything from scratch here. So from the fries to the pies to the recipes to so we don't skip a beat. Like I feel like that's what gives us a bit of an edge.
Yeah.
With all these industries and stuff, and I mean our customer base knows like to support local. Because for us, it's hard. Yeah. It's hard, like for labor intensive to make the cabbage roll from the very beginning, or whatever item it is. It's tricky compared to when you can just order stuff from a box and it's very similar and everybody's doing it.
Yeah. So
just to keep the strength and just stick to our guns with that. I think it's paid off for us.
Yeah.
Because really it's been hard, but. It's all about food cost and labor cost now, and we're just willing to give that up to try to have a superior product. So
for sure, and there is, like you said, like fresh and frozen. it's similar, but it's not the same. And I think people can really tell when it's made with love and made fresh. So I think that's, at least for me, that's very important when I go out and eat.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so do you have any advice for people wanting to start a restaurant in a small or a small town?
Yeah, well, I tell you, we actually did just start a restaurant in a small town in January.
Yeah.
So we'll get into that like later on, but it was already operating, and stuff, and it was already doing quite well. I would have thought anyway. But I believe that it's everybody's dream to start a restaurant, and I think it's got about a 86% fill rate.
Yeah.
So everyone has the pipe dream that is and stuff, but there's so much other side to it. So it's pretty exciting, and you can do it. You can do it, but you just have to be you just have to be there day and night.
Yeah.
And understand that it's not a get rich quick scheme. It's going to take lots of love and lots of time, and the base will build. The customers will come back, and the word of mouth will spread if you do a good job at it, right? So that's the advice would be just keep at it, fight at it, and fight to the death, and you'll get there.
Yeah. And so what kind of food can people expect on your menu?
We mostly have basically an American theme. We have some Italian. Just a little bit of everything. It's more of a redneck menu, type thing, where it's like it's meat and potatoes, that kind of thing. Where it's homemade breads and we cut our own fries, and we got to make sure that and bake our own buns and certain things, right? So just we kind of have a little bit of an edge because we make sandwiches for the local community and stuff too. So we're cooking roast beefs and real turkeys all the time. So we have all the drippings for the gravy. You know what I mean? It makes a difference if you just always use these powders and stuff. So there's that. And plus, I mean, my dad started the restaurant in 1983, and he's still here today, helping me make the pies every day. So it's like, stuff. So he comes in and, does what he can. So still generation of family. It's still going on more than ever.
Yeah.
Since we started the second location, he's been working more than me, basically. Even 79 years old and still kicking. So yeah.
And do you have a favorite item on the menu?
I guess my favorite item is the hot bobs. That was named after me. I used to be hot and sexy, but something happened to me. No, but it basically is just our own buffalo chicken sandwich, which we make our own buffalo sauce. I actually have it.
Yum.
I love it. It's like not too spicy, but yet it's so we use like a buttermilk breading on our chicken. So we bread it ourselves, and then basically we just cook it with like thick cut bacon, our mozzarella and cheddar, and dose it in the sauce, and then just put it on we go it's got a garlic aioli, and you basically have your your grilled bun with garlic butter and stuff. It's got the crunch and it's got everything with it. So that's probably my favorite thing on the menu.
We love buffalo chicken sandwiches, so we're definitely going to try that out.
Right on.
And what would you say the most popular item on the menu is?
Oh, probably our burgers, and stuff. We go through we have a pretty good hamburger recipe, so that's quite often a lot of hamburger steak, that kind of thing. So a lot of hamburger, I guess. But we do have really good. We have beef dips and and it's the real stuff. It's not the stuff that comes out of a bag, right? So it's and stuff. So it's but I mean, there's lots of things. A lot of pizza too, and stuff. So I'll get you talking to our pizza man.
Sounds good.
He's got a few stories to tell you, I'm sure.
And what is the atmosphere like here?
You know what? It's I'll kind of give you a bit of a storyline of building this pub.
For sure.
I went to Whitefish, Montana about, I guess, 8 years ago. Went to meet with my accountant. We went and kind of hung out there for the weekend, and we were pub hopping. So that's what you do there, hang out by the lake and go. And I went to this pub and basically walked in, and they had a couple of ping pong tables, people playing ping pong, a couple playing the shuffleboard, and they had pool tables. And so it was dartboards. It was pretty crazy. And I went up to the front counter and basically said, "I'll get 4 MGDs." And they said, "Give me your driver's license." I said, "How do you get these shuffleboard rocks?" They took my driver's license, and so I got shuffleboard rocks. Went to sit down, and how much for the beers? $4. $4 for 4 MGDs, US dollars. So okay, that's a pretty good deal. So we we were playing in there, and 20 minutes later it goes by, and everybody's saying, "Okay, let's go to the next pub." I'm like, "Oh, thanks. I'm good right here."
Yeah.
It's like, and stuff. So I basically built that when I came back from that trip, I thought, you know what? If I ever had a chance, I want to have basically, you know, a ping pong table, pool table, dartboard, shuffleboard, and so I kind of built that theme around this. So the only thing I don't have is the rooftop patio. So they had one of those, so it was pretty sweet. So I actually designed a plan for it and everything and stuff. So we spent quite a bit of time on. My wife's pretty talented, so she's her own architect basically, and you know, stuff. I have a plan, but it's going to be about another $1 million. So we might
need to wait that off a bit.
A little farther on, you'll see how good your channel does.
Yeah, exactly. And if you could open a location anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Where would a location be? Anywhere in the world? Oh my, that's a good question. You know, funny. One thing I noticed is in Tijuana. I really thought it was cool down there. I was going down there just on getting some medical stuff done, and we kind of went to the beach down there, and it was really neat that there was all these cool different architectural structures, like a big beach house / made out of like a surfboard. All these areas that were kind of shut down, but they looked really cool, and I just thought like, hey, it's like that we were hanging around in the stores and stuff, and I just found like the price of the food there was about a third of what it was here. Yeah. This was already 10 years ago and stuff, you know, so I mean, I don't know, things have probably changed, but I really thought that, man, if you could really do like bring it back where you have a lot of expats and that kind of stuff where they'd come there, I think we could do really well in a place like that. So throw the Tractor Jacks up in Tijuana would be pretty cool.
That would be cool.
But just the flair there, and I really feel like the potential would be there for someone to do well in that location.
100%. And how many locations do you have?
We have 2. Yeah, we have 2. So the restaurant side of this location is the same kitchen, but it's so we call that Major's Homestyle, and that's where. And this is the pub side is called Tractor Jacks.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we have another location in Byzance, and that's 20 minutes from here.
And what kind of made you want to open the Tractor Jacks after having the Majors?
Well, just the opportunity. Basically, what happened was I just had a buddy of mine that owned the 3 gas stations around the local area, and it was a local business. Lefties, they're really well known actually, and they just got busy and they had too many things on their plate. But they just decided to close it down after like 10 years of being there, and I heard nothing but good things there.
Yeah.
So I looked into it and said, you know, I talked to the owner and stuff, and I said, why are you closing? And kind of dug into it, and I just talked to our, you know, the one of the girls that was running the location mostly, basically, like she was there for a lot of it. So yeah, I thought I am jumping in on this because it's a good opportunity for us. So just to expand and, you know, get our name out there.
Yeah. And is there something that you see in yourself that is reflected in Majors and Tractor Jacks?
Well, certainly. Like, you know, I think the feel of, you know, for, like you say, I like to play, you know, and stuff. So basically, one of our logos that we didn't really do it, was come for the food and stay for the fun. So I really feel like, you know, if there's a ping pong table out or something, if I'm going to go out and be like, hey, let's pick up a paddle, right? So it's that kind of thing. So I feel like I want that for the customers, just come and have a good time. It's pretty laid back here. It's more like, you know, it's not a nightclub style. It's just come out and have a good steak sandwich and have a cold beer and, you know, and
make some memories. Yeah. And what is something you wish that people knew about Majors?
Well, I think one thing that I think that hasn't really been portrayed much is that we're pretty careful with what we put in our food, you know, and stuff. So like real butter, coconut oil, certain things that, you know, isn't really known as well. So I think we should probably, like, we haven't adapted to having a strong enough, like a gluten-free menu type thing and stuff. Like, we have it all here. Yeah. It's just that when a customer comes, like, we don't, you know, we're just not that, you know, professional on, you know, having it all shown out. So, I mean, if customers would come and say, hey, we want our vegetables done up healthier and stuff, we would do it all for anyone. It's just that we're, you know, so I think that probably that would be the one thing that I would let people know, is that we like to go the extra mile for their food and make sure it's done right for them. So so that's something that
you will kind of like adapt the menu for their needs.
For sure.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
And then outside of Majors, what do you enjoy most about living in Grande Prairie?
Well, Grande Prairie is the hot spot of, what is it, Papa? Hunting and fishing? Everything. Yeah, I know. It's the hot spot of work. Basically, you come to Grande Prairie for work. So but there's lots to do around here. Like, I mean, actually, this summer is one of many that I've been really taking advantage of. Just the area, like we went to Red Willow Falls. It's been so smoky this summer and stuff. So any blue sky day is like take advantage.
100%.
So yeah, we floated the Simonette River one day. We went to Red Willow Falls. We checked out Old Bezanson Town Site. We've been to Swan Lake, just kind of kicking around there. We're going fishing the territories. Yeah. There's lots going on. So it's but there's lots to do for sure. If you just got to check it out. And we bought some what are those? Moped scooters.
Oh yeah.
So we've been scooting around the city. Yeah. So
those are so fun.
It's been pretty addictive. Yeah. So anything to get an hour out and get some sunshine.
For sure. And my last question for you is, what is the best piece of advice you've received throughout your life?
Oh, the best piece of advice is you can never have too much wood.
You sound like my dad.
Yeah, that's from my dad. Yeah. No, the best piece of advice I would say would be, I guess Scott's motto, be prepared. Mm-hmm. Like with the world that we're in, and stuff, it's just don't assume that, everything's going to be just hunky-dory as, stuff. Just live for today. Kind of stuff, and is try to build and be your best.
Yeah, especially after COVID, you kind of need to live like that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sitting down with us.
You're
So what's your name?
It's Michael Brogan.
And can you tell us a bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm the general manager here at Majors and Tractor Jacks here in Grande Prairie. Also for the banquet facility that's upstairs as well. So yeah, I kind of do the general managing duties around here at the facility. And
so how long have you worked here?
I worked here since our opening, which was 2014, July. And it's been almost 10 years now.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
And what made you want to work at Tractor Jacks and Majors?
Well, I was a project manager for construction in Calgary previously for quite some time, and the thought of changing industries and getting into the hospitality industry with my family was sort of an inviting idea because it offered me new challenges, which I am getting a little older, so the idea of getting into a new career to me seemed exciting, and to be in the hospitality industry was not a huge far stretch from dealing with the public. It's just on quite a different vein. So that's kind of what brought me up here from Calgary, and I haven't regretted any of it. Yeah.
And so have you just been living here for the 10 years or like almost 10
Yes,
years?
that's right. Yeah, I've been in Grande Prairie since that time, 2014. So yeah, it's been, as I said, almost 10 years now I've been up in Grande Prairie here.
Oh, wow. And what would you say is the most rewarding part of your job?
The rewarding part of the job is definitely seeing the smiles on our customers' faces, seeing the positive responses to the fruits of our labor here at the facility, and of course that can be challenging because you can't please everybody all the time.
Yeah.
But when you're hitting that mark, 90% of the time, that really can lend itself to a rewarding part of your day. Again, generally it's the staff that I'm surrounded by that really makes that happen for us here. So, in general, I think when someone walks away from Tractor Jacks and Majors satisfied with the product that we've provided, then we've done our job.
For sure. And what hours are you guys open?
The facility is open from 7 a.m. That's the restaurant side. So 7 a.m. till around 8 or 9, depending on how busy we are. Okay. And the bar side here is open from 11 and generally until about 11 at night, midnight, and further, depending on what we have going on at the facility. Fridays, Saturdays, we have open mic on the Fridays. Every second Saturday we have karaoke. So it's open a little bit later then. But the hours and the general hours are 11 to 11 in the bar and 7 till 8, 9 o'clock in the restaurant.
And do you have a favorite menu item?
I do have a favorite menu item. I have two really generally that I go to, but our 8-ounce New York strip steak sandwich is never a disappointment for me. It's a pretty consistent product, and it's one that I really enjoy eating when I have some time to eat here. And the chicken parm fettuccine alfredo is also a phenomenal dish here. Yeah. It's a real satisfier, and again, it's almost 2 meals worth of food. So I would check both of those out if I was a newcomer to the restaurant here.
Yeah, and what is your most popular item on the menu?
The most popular item on our menu is probably our traditional clubhouse. It is ordered a lot. Mm-hmm. The reason for that is that it's about 6 inches high, and it's stacked with all kinds of home cooking goodness in there with our turkeys who come. They're locally sourced turkeys. Everything on that sandwich seems to hit all the marks for most of our customers around here. So yeah, that one I see go through the window a lot. Yeah.
And can you tell us the atmosphere, what it's like?
Well, because we're in a hotel, there's a lot of hotel guests that come through. There's a lot of oil and gas workers, a lot of truck drivers. That's really the heartbeat of what keeps us going here, is hardworking men and women who come in and just want a good home-cooked meal, and that is exactly what we try to provide them here.
Yeah. And if you could open a location anywhere in the world, where would it be?
A location anywhere in the world for our sort of diner menu, I think a really great place for us to open our next restaurant will be somewhere warm and sunny. I would say probably in the Caribbean somewhere, just to break up the winters that we experience here. Yeah. So yeah, somewhere down in Cancun would be desirable, on the beach.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Oh yeah.
And is there something you wish that people knew about Majors and Tractor Jack?
Other than just our location being tucked in here, in the industrial area, sometimes is after the general working hours can be a little bit difficult for people to know. So just to get our location out there in general would be something that I would like to see and promote more.
Yeah.
You know, because we've been here for so long, there is we do have a real good customer base, but there still are some people in Grande Prairie that are still surprised that we are tucked in here.
Yeah.
Underneath this, large 10-story building here. But yeah, if I could get our name in lights at the top of the building, that's what I would want.
And so you've been here for quite a long time. Outside of Majors, what do you enjoy doing, or what do you enjoy about living in Grande Prairie?
Well, there's a couple things. There's a fantastic family-orientated group of people here that, again, that we see on Sundays, friends and family. It's just the right size of town that it takes you literally 12 minutes to get to anywhere. So that is a big plus. And it can also take you 12 minutes to be out in the bush and on your side-by-side or out venturing and camping. So all those things within arm's reach, despite the summertime construction. That makes a phenomenal quality of life to be able to have both those things at your reach and not be spending a quarter of your day in traffic. And to be out in the woods in 20 minutes is, as I said, a phenomenal quality of life.
100%, especially coming from someplace like Calgary, where it takes you probably 30 minutes to get across the city.
And it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, well, perfect. Thank you so much for sitting down with us.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we're in Tractor Jack's kitchen, and this is the famous Sam the Man Pizza Man. kind of crazy. This character is funny. He just turned 75 the other day.
Oh, wait,
57.
57, yes.
57.
But they noticed already when the Franklin's in Edmonton when I
They
tell
recognize
them.
him.
I already tell them.
It's a funny story, but every time I take him somewhere, because we take him out for, I took him to the movies the other day. I had more people in line that knew him that didn't know him. It was ridiculous. Like, Sam, we gotta get tickets. We don't have time to talk all day so he's recognized everywhere. So he ran the Alamo in Sexsmith, which is near town here for the
Venice House here.
He ran the Venice House back in the 80s. It was also a famous restaurant back in the day and stuff. So I finagled him a few years ago, which is probably more than 5 already, because I didn't have a homemade pizza and I wanted to have a good pizza and stuff. So he ended up living with me. The next thing you know, he does it all. This Samuel, the pizza man. So anyway, we're just gonna make. He made the dough. He makes the dough and the sauce from scratch. I think it's the best dough in the world. So I mean the best sauce. Sorry,
Yeah,
the dough is pretty good. But
Yes.
How come you got little holes in your gloves? Why are there? I think your fingers shrunk over the years.
Yes. You think
Anyway,
so?
we just figured we'd kind of show you kind of how we do it. You make the dough, we pre-cook it
Yeah.
for a few minutes, and then we turn it into a real pizza. So yeah. And this we got him.
My hand is
Terry,
shrink.
this is his fancy cutting board. We weren't supposed to cut it from this way, but it was a present for him back in the day when he came here. So we thought, well, we might as well use his cutting board. So yeah, we're done with that. Let's cook it.
Just a second.
Oh, we got to make sure it's perfect though.
Yes.
That is true. Make
Yeah.
sure you got all the edges. You okay? You're good? Okay, so we put it in the oven. We're sneaking a couple turkeys and beefs in there at the same time. But we just pre-do that for a few minutes, and then we'll get back to making the actual pizza with the dough.
Yes.
But if you want to tell them a story, what do we got to tell them, these
I
guys?
tell already there about Franklin's when I was in Edmonton.
Ooh, you did, did
Long
you?
time ago, 78, but I don't tell them my age.
Yeah. Well, Sam and Sam goes way back. He's trouble, capital T trouble, with the ladies. And you never know.
sorry.
No, actually, it's kind of funny. He walks around and hits on the tables as, touches the tables. He doesn't hit on the girls. But he basically just, but all our customers know him, so it's kind of neat when he just goes out and does his thing. So, but he's been here grinding it out, making pizzas for a long time. So figured we might as well make you one right on camera and see what happens.
Yeah, he's a local celebrity. Hey?
Yeah. I had a buddy of mine. He just tried it's called the Majorific pizza. It's just basically a loaded pizza, but I called it the Majorific. But it's good. It kind of goes good with the bacon and the pineapple and the Italian sausage that's on it. It just kind of blends together and make it crispy enough, and it's good. So we'll let you try it.
Sometimes the shrink was,
Yeah,
the
stretch it out,
temperature is different.
Don't want to rip the customer off. Make sure it goes right to the edge. You want to make sure he gets it full. There we go.
Boss.
Okay, what else?
That's why it's, and after a while I put the topping.
Oh, okay.
Then I cook it again for 10 minutes. But now it's take more than 10 because the temperature is down.
Yeah,
For the other stuff.
yeah, just because
Yeah.
we're cooking.
Yeah.
Well, we're just making it work. So, what else can we tell them about you in the business? Sammy, what's your favorite thing about working at Tractor Jack's? Being part of the team.
You the boss, and I know him when he's 9 years old.
9 years old.
Well,
I know, it's
and
scary.
he's my boss now.
Scary.
I tried to retire, and he don't let me.
No. He said he's going to retire.
Yeah.
He told me he's going to retire in 14 years. That was about 9 years ago, but it's like I'm extending that till about what? 2037 now. We said is
Yes,
expiring. His
yes.
retirement. So
Oh, 37, that's so
yeah,
long.
But
yeah.
I
We
have
still
accident,
we're gonna wear him out. That's our plan. It's our plan. Yeah. A little longer, Sammy. You taught me well.
I like it perfect. Like,
He's trained me to make pizza too. So when he's got an hour off,
Yes.
I kick you into overgear sometimes.
he's
so
the boss.
I have
He's
to.
looking after, yes.
So most of the customers can tell now. They all say that I make the better pizza, don't they? Now.
Another day, well, I have a joke with, another day I have pizza for a lady. She asked about pizza, but she liked the jalapeno. She liked Mexican jalapeno to one side, half jalapeno. And she's my customer 20 years ago. She was a little kid. I went over there when I finished. I tell her, I'm sorry, this for you, the half jalapeno. The jalapeno. She said, yes. I tell her, I make mistake. She said, what? I tell her, I put the jalapeno on the left side, not on the right. She said, you never change. That's what we do with the people. I make the pizza with love. Yes. And with the lovely family and friend and boss.
Yeah. We couldn't find his fancy pizza hat we got him as well. Yeah. Little puff pizza, had his name on it and everything. Couldn't find it for the film.
And the kids growing up in Saxman, when I have the restaurant, and they came because always they tell me, Sam, I am green eggs and ham.
You happy there?
Boss.
You happy, boss? Or?
Yes, boss. You're okay? The boss.
All right, next step. We're going to take the pizza out of the pan. Oh. Put it onto...
Just a second, boss.
Don't wreck it? Give it a little bit of...
Yeah. Thank
just
you,
so
sir.
it doesn't stick on there.
Just grabbing it straight from the oven.
Right from the oven.
Huh?
Cooking hands, eh?
Yes. We're going to the prep station now. Follow the camera.
Yes.
You're supposed to follow you, Sammy. I'm not. Here, I'll do the first step.
Hey?
I said, I'll do the first step.
Okay, boss.
Oh, this is Sammy's homemade sauce. He showed me how to make a lot of pizzas in my day. So. But it actually takes quite a bit. Quite a bit of sauce to have the right amount.
I have a funny thing from Saxman when I was there. The one student, he's 8 years old. And he said, I have 6 girlfriends.
Oh.
Next year, 5, blah, 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 blah. In the end, he said, I got 1. Now, not this the story. It's over. When I came to Mr. Manager here, he's with his dad. He said, you remember me? He's in the lounge. You remember me? I have none left.
Yeah, exactly.
It's mean that he follow us wherever.
What's the trick of putting the cheese on the bottom there, Sammy?
What's that?
What's the trick about putting the cheese on the bottom?
Yeah, it's better because not stuck in the.
So the meat doesn't fall off.
Yeah,
it doesn't slide off your pizza.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you're giving away all your secrets.
All the secrets.
Well,
all
I'm
the
sorry.
secrets.
You could take over.
Yeah, I'll take over now. I'll come back here.
So we're gonna put some ham on. Are you gonna help Sam, or are you just gonna make me do the whole thing?
Whatever, up to you.
Oh yeah, you be the character on
okay,
on,
I talk to the
on
girl.
film. You talk to the girl.
Yeah,
yeah.
I see how you're doing.
Yeah. You make sure I'm doing it right.
The ham is
special
ham.
Special
yes,
ham. Special ham, special sauce.
Yeah.
Ham special flavor. Okay, that's about how much ham we put on. Then our pepperoni.
9.
This is called the Majorific.
Yes.
My wife says, you have to have your name in everything, don't you? And it's,
yes.
And it's like, well, why not? But well, it bugs her. It's pretty funny. It's like, well,
she's not here today?
She's not here. She's scared. She's scared of camera.
Uh-oh. Enough. Okay.
Well, I got to cover it.
Okay.
I got to. Too many. What goes next, Sammy?
Okay. Bacon or
onion or the bell peppers? I like to put the cheese on and then blend in the vegetables and stuff. I think bell peppers and onions.
Yeah, but you don't like a bacon?
Yeah, sure. You can go ahead, bacon.
I'm very cheap. Oh, no, I'm very cheap.
You're cheap on the bacon.
Everything expensive.
Oh, it's going to be good. It's going to be good.
Yes, yes.
Woohoo!
And saucy?
Yeah, Italian sausage.
Italiano.
Mushrooms. I'm going to start with the cheese. So you blend in the cheese.
Last night, I have a funny thing. Last order from the skip dish.
Okay.
Can I put this?
I guess so. You have my permission.
Okay, boss. It's better with just 1 second here. Some people order pizza. I'm ready to leave at 9:30. She said, you make it. I tell her, yes, I'm here.
Mushrooms are
she said,
too full.
Measure, perfect big, large one. No pepper, no green pepper, and no mushroom. Instead, feta
Ooh,
and
feta.
tomato. And extra jalapeno sauce, side jalapeno sauce, ranch,
Yep.
and
should put
ranch
some,
dressing.
We should
And
put some feta on your
Extra cheese, the mixed cheese. And we need extra one ranch, extra sauce inside.
Sorry, camera.
Same special, whatever it is. Blah, 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 blah. In the paper last night. I tell my friend, good thing I don't go to bed, because nobody can make.
And a little more bacon, right?
Thank you, boss.
And
Well, usually you put the bacon in the bottom of the cheese.
well, I
and
like
then
to
it's
put.
burned.
I'm gonna put cheese on top to give it the.
Okay, boss.
To make sure it doesn't burn. You taught me well.
Okay, sir.
That looks
Whatever
like
you decide.
that's the way I'd make a
I went
major
for
Irish
you.
pizza. I did good, eh?
You're the boss.
And then just one more layer of cheese so that it doesn't burn, just like Sammy says. We're not cheap on the cheese here because, well, it's,
yeah,
it's
this
good
is
and
the
yummy.
best, the perfect.
With feta and tomato would be even better. So I think we should maybe consider putting that on. But for this
Thank you,
time,
boss.
nah. Okay, 10 minutes
Go
and we'll
ahead.
be back. We'll be back
10
for
minutes.
more. Set the timer. And done.
Are you sure?
I think I'm done. Okay, the timer has gone off and we are live, maybe. The pizza we think is ready. Is it ready for the customer, Sammy? Let's
Okay,
check
boss,
it out.
yeah.
Let's see what we got. Oh, when he gets to use his... I like to flip it over and use this side. It makes him mad, so he likes to keep it nice and gentle. So. Let's see what we have for a pizza. Ooh, here, let me fix it for you. Come on. Here we go. Ooh. How's the
Thank
bottom,
you, boss.
Sammy? How's
It's
the
the
bottom
best.
seam?
Little bit.
It's pretty good, but it could be a little longer.
See?
But I mean, for the picture, it looks pretty good. You want to be the carver?
Huh?
You want to be the cutter?
Yes, sir.
Show them how it's done.
Yes.
I'm going to be the cutter?
Yeah, yeah, you could do it.
Okay, we're going to carve. Oh, hear the crunch. That's a good sign.
Sorry, dear.
We have ourselves a majorific pizza. My favorite. So that's what we got.
And this pizza is made with love.
It's made with love.
From
Yay!
Mr. Major.
Yeah.
Well,
Better with banana peppers, I think.
What?
And feta and tomato. I think that's going to be our next pizza. It's going to be the Majorific 2.0.
Here.
Okay, let's get it on a serving tray.
Yes, sir.
Ready?
Yes, sir.
Here goes nothing. Here goes nothing. Woohoo! And special effects. Your
And the best in the West.
The best in the
East
West.
or West?
Give it a kiss, Sammy. Okay, let's eat it, you guys. Okay, we'll go cook a chicken burger and you guys can have lunch.
I'm happy because
that?
I'm between the lovely family. I tell him
Oh,
once.
and we got his side
Okay,
dirty.
I'm sorry.
We got his side dirty.
Sorry, my friend. This
How come there's
was
water
the
there?
first time you make mess.
Okay, we're gonna go finish the chicken burger now. And that's your burger. And that one for me. Mm-hmm.
Hey everyone, hey, welcome back. We have
talked to some wonderful people, so kind, so many stories.
Truthfully.
And you've seen the delicious food we're about to eat, so we are so excited.
Let's start with pizza.
I'll give us each. And then do you want to start cutting that?
Oh, yeah.
To save you all the time of, you know what I mean? All right.
So, ladies, I'm here.
You want a piece of pizza?
No, thank you very much.
You don't want a piece of pizza? You don't want a piece of pizza?
No, I'm it already.
Oh.
I visit with you a little bit.
Okay.
All right.
I see if any complaint from the hospital.
All right. Ready, Rochelle?
Mm-hmm.
Cheers.
I like it. Yeah. Yeah, 82nd Street. Good.
It's delicious, yeah.
Yeah, I like the sauce. It's the best sauce I've ever had.
It really is.
Yeah.
And
If
it's
you
kind of
need a-
spicy.
They make a really good donut. Hey guys, now we're in Besançon. Our second location is called TJ's Roadside Diner, and we started this 6 months ago. And yeah, so basically this is, I guess you've seen a few of the location, and yeah, we have a patio out here, and we are ready for customers.
And so what's the can you go behind the history of Majors and Tractor Joe's and now this area?
Yeah, you betcha. Basically, my dad started the hotel and restaurant on the north side at the main location in 1979. And from 1983 is when he got into starting the restaurant, and up until today. So, I mean, what happened in the building through it kind of branched out. And my dad just kind of had a lot of personality. He'd, meet customers, and Harold Shamus was, he ran the Norwood Esso across the road from the hotel that he built, that we put the Majors restaurant into. And from there, they decided that they'd, instead of having those, kind of the high guard style sandwiches that were prepackaged and good a month from now, we figured we'd make homemade sandwiches and, product and bring it across the road to his gas station. So that started the sandwich franchise, and today it's flourishing, and it really helps with when things are slower and you're building product all day long.
Yeah.
And we deliver to many of the gas stations all around the city, and it's really built the name up for probably for about since 1990, so 35 years. Yeah, so the idea is so basically I'll tell you a little story about the Cucamonga burger. We're fishing. We're actually heading up there next month, but we go up north fishing, and man, my buddy and I decided to go for a day trip. Took the aluminum boat, went long ways upstream, so it was pretty tough to portage and stuff. And we got into these big pike. And anybody knows fish stories and stuff. These pike were 35 to 40 pounds, 50 some inches long. Heavier than your grandchild, stuff. So right now, so it's like we were just our daughter just said, how old do you think this guy, my little guy is? And I picked him up. I said, he's about 19 pounds. And he said, how do you know that? It's like, I've weighed a few fish in my day, so got it to the ounce. But yeah, these were some big. So anyway, my friend Gary at the time said, that was a big Cucamonga we caught. It's like, what are you talking about? It's talking about these big hogfish. And they were seriously, they were longer than this table, and they were so big. We threw them all back, but I have a few pictures to show you if you really want to get serious. But anyway, that was when we got home, we basically came up with this Cucamonga burger idea and stuff. We thought we'd make a 20-ounce hamburger and stuff, and then so I thought, being out at this diner, let's have how I've seen all those the Bearded Meats guy on YouTube, and he's got billions of videos of him eating this. He could eat this Cucamonga burger for breakfast and still do a challenge for lunch, type thing. But so I don't think this is going to be one of those ones where you eat the Cucamonga burger and get it free. But I think it's going to be definitely, if you polish this off, you definitely you get something for free. Maybe one of these Tractor Jack's mugs or something like that. But it's going to be a 2.5 pound hamburger, And it's going to be homemade bun, loaded to the nines with, we'll do a basket of fries and onions with it, I think. And if they, so it'd probably be like the first $50 hamburger in Byzantium now, I tell you that much, and stuff. So yeah, I think if you're kind of ready for that, if you have any more questions, I think let's go out and let's go see if we can build a burger and see what we come up with.
Let's do it.
Okay, we're in Tractor Jack's Diner Kitchen now, and we are going to make our very first launching Cucamonga 2.0, the jacked Cucamonga 2.0. So here we go. We are going to put the burgers on the grill. Don't cook too much parchment paper with your deal, because it does tend to taste a little plasticky. So we got one burger cooking. We've never really cooked a 2.5 pound hamburger before, so bear with us as we experiment. So we're going to charbroil it to make sure it's to your liking. Here, Chef Kassoon. Chef Kassoon and Chef Jaya with us helping. So we're in the middle of cooking orders for the customers as well. But what we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of a steam lid. Oh, we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem because it's too big for the lid. This is our little ancient Chinese water trick. It's called steam. So as we let those cook, we're going to get to the other things on the burger, which is going to consist of lettuce, tomatoes, fried onions, mushrooms, bacon, mozzarella sticks, onion rings, and deep fried pickles. And this is our new bun that we experimented today on. We garlic buttered it up, and we have it ready to grill. And this is going to be the largest hamburger you have probably saw on your video this summer, anyway. So, yeah. So, here we go. So we're going to just grill the bun so it looks a little better. And get that going. What do you think, Kassoon? How do you flip a 2.5 pound hamburger? Gently. Like we've done this before. We actually just want to cook it enough so that it'll charbroil nicely and it doesn't fall apart. So that was my plan. So we need some Chef Jaya, we need some mushrooms cooking. Oh no, we have some here. Oh yeah. Oh yes. So we'll throw these on the grill, cook those up, and we are ready. We can prepare the bun with the mayo. Here's the cheese, the bacon. And what about fried onions and mushrooms? Yes. Okay, you have everything ready there. Good. Okay, oh, we have matcha sticks. Okay, so we're ready for round 2, which is going to be move these to here. I would recommend that you eat this as a family, but you know what? If you can polish this off, I think it'll be pretty exciting to see. After we flip it, we'll load it up with cheese. Should we barbecue sauce this puppy or what? Yeah? Mayo, mustard, barbecue sauce, our special garlic aioli and dressing. And yeah, it's going to get served with I think a basket of fries with a few onion rings on top. If you eat it all, you get to jog around Byzantium school like Will Ferrell did. No, he won't go there. Well, no, he did in the Big Old Boy Blue movie. Oh, look at that flip. Chef Kassoon, I don't even know if you could do it any better. You think it's ready for cheese? Yeah. Or you think it's a little bit careful? Yeah. Throw some cheese on this puppy. Woo! Hot. And excelente. So we'll throw these down. We'll throw some dip pickles down. We'll put those in last. We're double spatulaing round 2. Just so we can melt the cheese. Okay, so this is the top part of the bun. So we are going to mayonnaise first. Woo-hoo! Don't try this at home, because you might get some on your fingers. You want to make sure you get the whole bun covered, because you don't want it dry. So that's the bottom. We're going to give her a little bit of shot of mustard. Just like that. I think we should put barbecue sauce right on the hamburger. Oh, now we're talking. That looks so good. We're going to put pickles on her next. A little bit of red onion. Looking good. Looking good. Onions can go on next. Melt these right on top. Oh, like that. We'll just fix her up there with tongs. Oh, looking good. And the bacon. It's only a pound of bacon with your 3 pounds of meat. We have her done. Which one do we want to put on the first patty? Try not to drop it on the ground as you place it on. Hey, it's less burger than bun until we add the second patty. Well, the bacon's in the middle of this puppy. How's that look? Okay. Did you say heart attack sandwich over there? Next is the lettuce and tomato. How are we going to flip that on there, though?
Yeah. On the top, right?
Yeah. Maybe you'd only get 6 tomatoes. I think we should throw some onion rings in there. A little bit of lettuce, because it's never going to stay. And voila! Pac-Man sandwich. Holy moly! Our first Cucamonga 2.0. And the matcha stick with the deep fried pickle. Finish it off. Okay, put it on a plate, you guys. We have Cucamonga burger. Woo-hoo-hoo! Who wants to ding the bell?
That's it. Done.
Oh, 3. Ta-da! This is Chef Jaya. This is myself, Roberto. And this is Kasoon. Over and out of the Tractor Jack's Roadside Diner. Part 1. Like pizza by the slice, burger style. Woohoo! Here comes our first Cucamonga 2.0 trial. Where's the tomato? Oh, pretty tasty.
Hey everyone, welcome back.
Hello, hello. We wanted to do a little rundown of Majors and Tractor Jack's because we were eating and we had company, which was great. No complaints. Sam.
We were talking too much to make the video while we tried the food. Yeah. But we heard some amazing stories today, which is super cute.
Found out that Sam and I are like this. The pizza guy.
It's a very small world.
Very small world. I also just feel like Lebanese people just always like somehow come together. So, but the food was delicious. Like
best buffalo chicken burger ever. I'm a big chicken sandwich
actually
girly.
Though, like ever. Like, somehow the sauce, like, it was, like he said, like Rob said, it was spicy, but it wasn't, like, to the point where, like, I need water, but it still had that really good flavor.
It was, like, an enjoyable spicy.
Yeah, and it was still, like, crispy. Like, I've never had, like, usually it, like, sits for a while, and you're like, oh, like, it's, like, the bread is, like, moist, and, so good. The bun was delicious, which... Yeah. It looked so pretty that I actually forgot that they make their buns in-house. So good. Fries, too, and they're great.
Oh, the fries were so good. I love French fries. They're probably my favorite food.
And
their fries were so yummy.
And then the pizza, too. Like, so good. I'm not a big pizza person. It was, like, one of the best pizzas I've, like, ever had. And, like, usually I don't, like, I stick with, like, pretty simple toppings. It would, like, I would go back and order it again. Like, that's how delicious it was.
Yeah, I'm usually, like, a very boring pizza gal, like, either cheese or pepperoni. But the amount of flavors and, like, just good. The dough was so good. I didn't eat, like, we obviously didn't eat, I don't mean, like, straight dough. We didn't eat that dough. But just the pizza dough that it was, was really good.
I don't think anyone's thinking they're just eating straight dough.
Okay, good. I don't know, you know? It's been a long day. I'm sorry.
No, it was delicious. And then they made that big...
The Kona...
No, it's like... Coca...
We'll watch the video back. Our brains are fried. I'm so sorry.
Anyway, it was a fish. I know that. Like,
it's a really big burger.
Yeah. We were stuffed, but that, like, smelled
so
delicious.
Good.
And, like, all, like, and everything was made fresh, too, including that big bun. And all of the, like, fixings on top of it. There was, like, 3 deep-fried pickles on top of it with mozzarella sticks. It was
really cute. Very nice touches, for sure.
Yeah,
all in all, super amazing day. Another example of just kind people in Grande Prairie.
Yeah.
We love it here.
We really do. I literally would move here 100%.
It's really nice. So yeah, thank you all.